I'm not a female sport journalist. I'm a sport journalist. I'm not a female commentator. I'm a commentator. I'm not a female game analyst. I'm a game analyst, because I'm doing the same work. I'm doing the same effort, sometimes double effort, and I have the same credentials like my male colleagues. So I don't know why we're still putting titles on female sports, men's sports, female jobs, man job. We don't have to separate those things. And I think that the more we educate that there is no gender boundary when it comes to professions, I think the more we will excel, and we will see more women in those fields that for some reason they think that we do not have what it takes. Let me say it like this. It's simple.
Diversity matters in the workplace, and that having a diverse kind of workplace, but also the people at the table, bring in different perspectives so that everybody benefits, and that the work that whatever you are doing, whether it is a marketing team, whether it is a communications team, whether it is government relations, whether it is your analytics team, that the more diverse a population that you bring into that, the better off the decision-making process is. And there's also quite a number of studies that say that women in particular who are in leadership positions drive profits.
I think that the motorsport industry has got to keep the interest high. I think, as I say, the esports program last year increased interest, but more importantly, a lot of the sponsors who are involved in the live show actually transferred some of their budget to the esports situation. I think esports, whether you're a fan or not of esports, is very important. I think, as I mentioned in the presentation, digital, social. Again, we've there are mixed views about how social is used with the situation in America with Twitter and things like that. But I think what the industry has got to do is, I said in some of the slides, is produce content which will be interested to the younger people.
This flow of this one concourse of the stadium that we're in, the majority of fans turned left as they went from the vomitories to the concourse. The majority of fans turned left, which we were able to recognize with our software. So the entrances to these lines were actually parallel with the flow of traffic. So people were getting in line without, it's like a fish being caught in a net. They weren't even knowing they were in line, and then they were like, oh, I'm in line, I'm gonna fall out of line. So our software was sending alerts to say something's wrong here. There's a lot of attrition, people falling out of line. So with that being said, that caused a huge peak time that caused a rapid spike and a rapid drop. Just as one example. Another example that I'll mention here is we work very intimately with food and beverage companies across the world, big food and beverage companies. And they did a big study in our software to say, okay, we have a long line. This is not the right time for a long line to happen because we generally know our operations. So they use our software, our dashboard to understand, okay, they're able to see on the dashboard, okay, nothing is visually wrong. So they went to the back of kitchen and realized that they were adding, this is the craziest thing, as small as this, they were adding lettuce and tomatoes on each hamburger, which that's supposed to be a special order, which was adding 13 seconds per order and per person in line who was ordering this. And that extra 13 seconds per person was causing this big backup, which ultimately caused a peak time to be identified. So from a high level all the way down to this granular low level, you're able to identify these peak times that you would have no idea about. And so they actually knew that, they found out that this lettuce and tomato situation was going on for 5 months.
It is a privilege to have the opportunity to interact with students and share what I have learned over a career, to share what I know, what I love, what I have done. There's very little in the industry, frankly, I haven't done. I have not signed players to contracts. I've never wanted to do that. That is a thankless task, in my opinion. But everything else, from business development and strategic planning, marketing and public relations, sales and sponsorship.
This isn't about me per se, but everything we talk about today is really about, you know, what we say is kind of the team behind the team. And so we're very fortunate also to have a chairman in Dan Gilbert, who allows us to do things maybe a little bit differently. Look, whenever you go through hard times, those hard times, you can kind of become downtrodden. You can beat yourself up. They can grind on you in certain ways. But if you really look at that adversity for the opportunity that it presents and not the challenge that it creates, it really allows you a mentality to be able to drive innovation and drive evolution as you're approaching your day-to-day.